So I was playing Sekiro a while back, and I was going for all 4 endings, so here I am at the end of my 3rd run, and I'm having some issues really. Now, on release, this game ran fine on my PC, but I've had some issues since then, and it seems like this area, with all the particles around it and the city loaded, I'm just not getting the frames I want. Even if I switch to low settings, and even if I drop to 720p, I'm still not really getting the frames I need, and she is just wiping the floor with me. I try again and again and again, and I really can't beat her. So I'll have a few more tries, but there's only one thing to do, and I switched to Apex. Now Apex runs a lot better. Still not as good as it did on release, but at low settings this game is pretty playable, until you get into a gunfight and the FPS drops a lot. That being said, we can still do okay. I can get a couple knocks. See, this guy, he's no trouble. But at the end of the day, it always ends up the same, and it's not that good. Luckily, for situations like this, I think I may have found a solution. So what feels like a lifetime passes, but I've finally got some bits to show you, starting with this, the Aorus Pro, decent Z390 board. Nothing ridiculously high end, but it's got Wi-Fi built in, and I think it looks rather good too. The manual was pretty crap though, it was like printed on sort of prison paper. I think Taiwan need to sort that out really. Next, I bought some memory, 32 gigs of it. Originally, I was only going to get 2 16 gig sticks, but Amazon didn't have any in stock, so I had to pay a little extra for 4. Doesn't make a difference though, because the board only supports dual channel anyway, but it will look nicer. These sticks are really high quality as well, and they make a good sound when you slide them together. Now, I mean, what do you really say about storage? Really cheap NVMe drive, as good as it needs to be for my uses. Since this, I've installed the second one, and I've got no complaints. Pain in the arse to put in though, little screws, nightmare. You never skimp on a power supply, so I've gone with the Corsair RMx series. Probably didn't need 750 watts, but whatever. It's got all the connections you need, the cables come in a really nice bag, and the thing about power supplies, they smell really lovely. I'm not joking, it's like petrol and paint and that kind of thing. It's really nice. You could probably get high off it. Yeah, super premium product, reliable forever. My last power supply is Corsair and it's still running fine. Point the fan down and it doesn't interfere with your case airflow thing, okay. Now this is the real deal. Everything else you buy comes really nicely packaged, all presentable like it's a fucking iPhone, but look at this man. I mean, it's a nice box, but inside it's all cardboard and screws. It feels like a proper DIY project. Again, I bought this for the looks. Air coolers are probably better or just as good, and they're normally cheaper, but I mean, come on. This thing looks cool, it lights up, and you can do all the things. It's nice, I like it. Box is very industrial though. Not a lot to say about it. Now here's the big boy, except no substitute. First thing you see, strangely enough, did you spend over $1,000 on the graphics card? They're still gonna advertise shit. Yeah, kinda cheeky. Either way, it comes with a little wire accessory thing that I don't know what it does, and a bra support bracket that you don't need. Who cares? We're just waiting for the big moment, and here it comes. Wait, yeah, it's swing. It's a 2080 Ti. I got this one because it looks great and it's clocked a little higher than stock. The box also comes with a little comic book installation guide with Lucky the MSI Dragon. Not sure who this is aimed at really, but I mean, he is cute though. Yeah, so this is kind of hard to film. For the record, I built the PC as high-end as it is. It's because of this case. I saw it in a video and couldn't not get one. It's very pricey for a metal box and it's very heavy, so I doubt I'll be moving it much, but I mean, I just love it. It comes with these hard drive trays, and look at this, a box for all your screws, and that is what I'm talking about, Phantex. You've got yourself a customer for life. Also take note, Gigabyte, this is how you do a manual. It's nice paper. Excellent, excellent, 10 out of 10, excellent, really good, excellent. And this was the very last thing to arrive, on the day of the build in fact, which is why the lighting has changed and the camera was filmed in portrait and there's wires sticking out everywhere. Sorry, the quality just dropped even lower than I previously thought possible. Either way, it's the i9. Yeah, it's overkill for games, but look, it comes in an orb. Richard O'Brien used to hand these out on the Crystal Maze as prizes. It's the only way you can get one. I've got this higher than stock now, which is just a bit ridiculous, partly what the cooler's for, so it's even nicer. But yeah, it comes in a thing, it launches itself at you when you open it. We can put it together now. So, this is where things go downhill really. Well, not quite yet, but either way. So, installing the CPU, you click the little retention arm, the thing comes up, leave the plastic covering. I used to remove those, turns out they pop off on themselves. Insert your chip in, don't fuck around bending the pins or anything. Give it a little wiggle to make sure it's nice, then lower the arm. You have to keep the black plastic bit because if your motherboard breaks and you have to send it back to the manufacturer, they require that to be on, so don't lose that. People throw those away. You shouldn't, it's important. So next up, you have to stick your RAM in. You do this by opening the slot and then sticking it in. It doesn't matter which lane you use. I've got 4 sticks, so I can use all 4. The board only supports dual channel anyway, so I'm not getting any benefit, but it will look nicer. So we're on to step 3, and things are already going wrong. Getting this drive screwed down was a real pain. I kept losing the screw under that I/O shroud, and I almost stabbed the board many times with the screwdriver. Either way, it's in, and I've got, I'm not going to mess around with SATA leads or anything else. I've got 2 of these done now, and the second one was more of a pain. This might be even easier than RAM, to be honest, because Phantex, again, are excellent. The standoffs are already exactly where you want them in the case, so you just slot it in. No need to fuck around with an I/O either, because it's built into the board. Screw it down. New thing for me this, the mounting bracket for the pump. I may have cut 1 or 2 hundred attempts trying to get this on correctly, but I got there in the end, and we can do the rest of it now. Oh yeah, and pump standoffs, you gotta put those in as well. So, time to assemble the radiator. Here are all the bits you'll need, including this ominous handful of screws. In theory, it's simple. You just get all this lot bolted together like this, drop it in the case. I'm top mounting because I think it looks better, leave me alone. There's space for it in the box, so I'm gonna do it. But here's the thing, I'm not exactly sure what I was doing wrong at the time, but it clearly wasn't going well. Getting these screws down was a real hassle. I'm having to force them down, there's wires trapped, things are not quite centered properly. Yeah, so eventually I had to take it apart and start again. I've probably sheared all the holes out on these, doing this wrong, but whatever, it still works in the end, and it's fine. Again, more points to Phantex. The top panel of the case comes off completely, so you can just screw everything to the outside and then simply drop it in. That being said, at this point I was fed up. The footage was looking crap and this stupid camera taped to a lamp was always in the way and it's wobbling around. There's loads of noise and grain in the footage even though I'm supposed to be filming at 4K. I don't see why I can't just glue all these things together. Now my shirt's taking up half the fucking screen. I'm just really getting fed up with this at this point. It's just a complete pain in the arse. I mean, what are you really going to miss? A load of wiring and a power... So anyway, then it was done, and look how pretty it is. I'm very glad I chose the bits I did, because I've built a good looking PC here. A lot of the fans don't even turn on unless you're really using them, so it's very quiet as well. Kind of hard to film because it's very glowy and bright, but that's the way I like it. I've got this on the desk rather than underneath it because obviously I built this thing to look good. To give you a quick look at the whole desk here, I'm really proud of this. I'm very, very happy. It cost a lot, but I earned it, so I'm going to spend it. Obviously, no point playing in 1080p, so I've got a 4K 60Hz monitor on the right and 144Hz 1440p on the left. I switch between them fairly regularly, to be honest, and it's very, very easy to do. Okay, so dead quick peripherals. Wireless mouse, smaller than my old one, but I really like it. The same keyboard I've always had. It matches everything else. Razer, like, it lights up when I go on Spotify. It's really cool. Xbox One controller. I've got these monitors on arms so I can tilt them out and play games while in bed, and this enables me to do that. This headset is super nice. I'm basically deaf to the world when I've got it on. It's really soundproof. Really crap wireless charging thing, but it looks clean so it stays. This is my favourite thing on the whole desk. I have to import this from the US at some cost, but it's a really big Deskpad with a fox on it. I kind of like them. And look at this little guy. He's a desk fox. He's actually like a screen cleaner, and he smells of lemons, and I love him. So I'm thrilled to announce this little project was a complete success. Turns out being able to play games at a decent FPS makes them a lot easier to win. So now I'm just murdering fucking everybody. I even went all the way back to Sekiro, to Ashina Castle, where I can live out my fantasy about beating up medical professionals and stabbing them through the throat. Pay to win game. Alright, see you, goodbye.